of the opinion, and maybe it's unpopular one, that ransomware threat groups are not actually the ones that are the scariest. We still have all the flexibility of all of the old ways as well, you know. So
And you're finding, or maybe you find, when we see, I don't know, news reports come out around threat actors that compromise an environment through ESX.
yeah.
Typically, it's unpatched,
Well,
unsupported,
ransomware
ancient,
groups will
right?
use whatever techniques are available to them to get in. They want to make you pay, of the opinion, and maybe it's unpopular one, that ransomware threat groups are not actually the ones that are the scariest. It's the ones that break in and
They don't encrypt your stuff, right?
yeah, ransomware is this big, loud, noisy thing. You know they're there eventually. You know, the people that sneak around and are just quiet about it and just sort of
Mhm.
infiltrate your organization, there's always somebody that knows. And my mind always goes to threat actors that are sneaking around in the organization that have this information and don't feel compelled. Criminals do not feel compelled to abide by the SEC regulations. You know, those folks are the scariest. But ransomware actors, they'll use whatever's available. So if
Mhm.
you're not unpatched, they'll use a vulnerability. And it really comes down to this idea. Defending against it comes down to the idea of zero trust. We've been talking about zero trust for ages, but actually doing it. And organizations are resistant to it because zero trust means telling their identity management team that we don't trust you anymore. And they take it personally, and they shouldn't, you know, but they take it personally, and then they don't, and then they get breached, and it all goes downhill from there. And so zero trust means no trust, less trust, you know, and he sulks around or whatever. And Captain Picard finally tells him that you can do everything right and still lose, you know, and that's how I feel about the hardening guidance. You know, you can do all of it and still suffer a breach because of something else. So you got to think holistically, and you have to really start thinking like an attacker. How would they get in, and what are you going to do about it? How would you find them?